Hello, everyone, and welcome to week 6 of Impact Makers. Wow, Dustin, week 6. You believe we made it this far?
I know it's been fun so far.
Well, speaking of it, we're sitting here in the middle of June, and it's a June like no other, right? We had an extended, tax season, crazy audit season. Sitting here with looking at a July 15th deadline. If you're advising a firm right now and they ask you, what should I be focused on here, to individually or collectively to be making impact, what would you say?
Yeah, that's a great discussion topic, and you could wind me up here, and I could I could talk forever on this one, but I'll try to keep it brief, and I'll start off high level, but everyone knows that if you want more details, just reach out and we can go into much more in depth on this topic. I would say I'm going to share an observation first, and then that's going to be part of how I address the question here. Um, I see a lot of firms really just and leadership, senior leadership in firms, really just focused on the next 3 to 6 months, and they have blinders on almost. And part of me gets that, but there's a bigger part of me that is a little bit worried about um, that observation, that trend that I'm seeing in a lot of firms today, even in the largest of the large firms. We're talking the top 50 firms in the country. Um, we, you know, we, we've heard, from the horse's mouth and from, other consultants to the profession that we're close with, that there's a concern that we have too much of a short-term view of just kind of getting through the COVID crisis, and how that threw everything into disarray, and where our economy is heading, and that type of thing. And the one thing I would challenge leadership in firms on today is that you need to be wearing two hats. It can't just be maximizing ROI in the next 3 to 6 months. It has to be, you have to wear a dual hat, which is still being that visionary and that leader for the future as well, because the next 6 months are going to present a great opportunity for the firms that are looking beyond just the short term, and really sticking to what they see happening 2 to 3 years down the road. And so I think this is, if we're looking at the last 5 years and the next 10 years as a journey in true CPA firm transformation, I think the next 6 months are going to separate the best from all the other firms. And so I get that you have to button things up and really focus on just the next 3 to 6 months to keep the lights on. I get that, but you cannot lose sight of all of the future investment that you should be making by just having the blinders on, focus on the short term. So like I said, I could go on and on about this, and we could debate this all day, but that's my that's my initial response to when I hear that question. Is I'm a little bit concerned about the number of firms I hear that have really just gone into a shell. I don't think that's healthy. I mean, what are your thoughts, Michael, on that? I mean, am I way out in left field with that thought, or how would you answer the question you posed to me?
No, I think you're on point, and I think it's remembering it's the short term and long term, but don't forget about that vision that you set out. And in the short term, look at what opportunities were accelerated because of the pandemic. What happened that moved the firm closer to a strategic initiative that was 1 or 2 years out? Don't go backwards on that. Yeah, we got to get work done. We got to service clients. We got to do all that. But there's things that, they call it disruption for a reason. There's things that happen to us that are, if we look at them right, are positive, that we need to make sure stick. And like you said, that is going to require, us to remembering what is our vision. So I agree.
Yeah, and a quote comes to mind from earlier this week from a client, a COO at one of our client firms, and she said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And so I think that speaks to, yes, we've got to make sure that we're taking care of everything we can in the short term, but also what else can we be looking at that, now that we have buy-in to some of those changes, what else can we start diving into and exploring that will propel us forward 2, 3, 4 years into the future, with the concept. So I thought that was pretty insightful too.
Yeah. So like we said, like Dustin alluded to, we like talking about this stuff. If you have any questions, follow up, want to just have a conversation about it, please reach out. And until the next time,